80% of the drugs in the Indian market are made by Indian companies. And not only that, your manufacturing capability has increased to the level where you can export to so many countries. Indian industry in the pharmaceutical sector is the 4th largest in the world. In no other manufacturing sector does the Indian industry have that kind of position. Now, clearly this was something that the 1970 Patents Act allowed and helped happen.
At the time, this was politically important for India. The country wanted to be independent and self-sufficient in a number of key areas, including drugs. But because it was so easy to copy drugs with a simple change in the process, critics labelled it the copycat drug industry.
The drugs and pharma industry grew by copying. Anytime a new molecule came from US or Europe, within 18 months to 2 years, it will be copied here and production will start because of our strength in process chemistry and process engineering. That is how our industry grew.
Does that mean the generic Indian drugs companies are guilty of simply ripping off the ideas and hard work of the major international manufacturers? Brian Tempest, head of Ranbaxy, another of India's generic drug firms, says his company always likes to make the most of business opportunities, but never breaks the law.
We don't do anything that's illegal. If there is no patent, then we will sell our products. If there is a patent which has a big hole in it, we'll go to court and find a way around that, invalidate that patent or demonstrate that we don't infringe that patent by taking a chemical route that goes all the way around the patent. But we don't do anything illegal, but we do look for market opportunities where patents aren't present and therefore we can enter the market.
As a result, many multinational pharmaceutical companies simply pulled out of India, leaving the local companies to dominate the market. Indian companies were also free to experiment with all sorts of generic drugs copied from their Western counterparts. It led to some major medical breakthroughs. The most spectacular came in 2001, when the generic manufacturer Cipla produced its famous triple drug cocktail therapy for HIV patients. This was possible only because under Indian patent law, Cipla could combine different drugs into one pill. Before that, HIV patients needed to take about 20 different tablets, all controlled by individual patents. With the triple drug cocktail, it was easier to take, and most important, it was much cheaper.
In the question of affordability and feasibility of antiretroviral therapy, we've seen a miracle in the last 5 years, the like of which we've never seen, I think, in medical or public health history. 5 years ago, antiretroviral therapy cost $20,000 to $30,000 US per patient per year, and involved taking 20 to 30 pills per day. Immensely expensive and immensely complicated and difficult to comply with. Today, antiretroviral therapy under the best circumstances costs about $150 per patient per year and involves taking 2 pills per day, one in the morning and one in the evening, and they're the same pill, and each pill contains 3 different drugs. Now that is a revolution, the like of which we've never seen.
WHO made a statement that in the world today, 1 million people are being treated for HIV. Although 6.5 million should be treated, only 1 million are being treated. And you'll be interested to know that Cipla's drugs, Triamune and Duovir N, are currently being used by 250,000 people worldwide.
The seed which led to the change in India's drug patent law was sown in 1995, when India joined the World Trade Organization. One of the conditions of joining the WTO was that India had to change its drug patent law and move more into line with the rest of the world, i.e. move from the process-based patent law to a products-based system. Ultimately, this will mean an end to the low-cost copycat drugs. Many in the industry fear this will mean monopolies being created and patent holders having total control over pricing.
It will be good for the people who manufacture these drugs, for the big multinationals, for all the big companies. It's very good because they'll simply have monopolistic, trade practices. They are the only ones making one particular drug. They are the only ones, setting the price for it. Whoever's life depends on that drug has to buy it or die.
This leaves the Indian government walking a tightrope. On the one hand, they want to encourage pharmaceutical innovation, but they also need to make sure drugs stay affordable for the many.